The weight of truth rarely sits comfortably with the average man, especially when that truth dismantles the fantasy he's clung to his entire life, that love is pure, simple, and unconditional. But if you're still watching, still listening, then you're not average. You're not here to be comforted. You're here to understand what others refuse to accept. That love, particularly from women, operates in a world of emotion, perception, and primal instinct, far beyond the tidy bounds of logic and reason. Now let's go deeper. Let's talk about something that most men overlook entirely, the emotional blueprint of a woman. You see, women don't fall in love with facts. They fall in love with feelings. A woman doesn't wake up one day and say, "I'm going to love this man because he has a stable job, a great credit score, and a reliable Toyota." That's not how it works. She falls for a man because of how her heart races when she's around him, because of how her mind can't settle when he leaves, because of the emotional chaos he stirs inside her that no one else can replicate. This emotional chaos is not something to fear. It's something to understand, master, and wield. And once you do, you become unforgettable. Not because you're the richest man in the room, not because you're the best looking, but because you touch something inside her that no one else can reach. You imprint yourself on her psyche, on her soul, and once a man has done that, he lives rent-free in her mind forever. But how do you get there? It begins with emotional contrast. Emotional contrast is the secret behind every unforgettable love story. It's the highs and lows, the tension and release, the comfort and the chaos. Think about the movies that women obsess over, the books they can't stop reading, the songs they cry to. They all have one thing in common: emotional unpredictability. This doesn't mean you become toxic or play games. It means you learn how to become the source of emotional movement. You become the storm she willingly walks into again and again, because calm seas never made her feel alive. Let me ask you something personal. Have you ever had a woman say, "I don't know what it is about him. I just can't stop thinking about him"? That's not logic talking. That's not checklist criteria being met. That's emotional imprinting. It's the result of a man who knows how to walk the fine line between desire and danger, comfort and mystery. When you give her everything too quickly, your time, your affection, your attention, you rob her of the very thing that fuels her attraction, the chase. Humans are wired to desire what is uncertain. This is basic evolutionary psychology. When something is guaranteed, it loses value. When something could be lost at any moment, we obsess over it. The moment a woman knows she has you, her brain shifts from pursuit to possession, and possession breeds complacency. Let's pause here and correct a dangerous myth. The idea that women want stability above all else. That's only partially true. What a woman truly wants is a man who is emotionally stable, but environmentally unpredictable. A man who doesn't fold under pressure, but still keeps her guessing. A man who makes her feel safe, yet still stirs the chaos inside her. This is the dance of masculine polarity. Masculine polarity is not about dominance or aggression. It's about presence. It's about the silent strength that radiates from a man who knows who he is and refuses to shrink for anyone, not even for her. It's about energy. When a woman is around a truly masculine man, she feels it. Not because he's loud or boastful, but because he is centered, grounded, rooted like an oak tree in the middle of a storm. And the moment she senses that groundedness, something deep inside her awakens. It's the part of her that wants to surrender, not because she's weak, but because she finally found a man strong enough for her to let go. You see, modern society has sold you a lie, that love is about equality, that love is about being the same, that the best relationships are 50-50 partnerships with perfectly divided roles. But in the realm of attraction, Sameness kills desire. A woman doesn't want a man who mirrors her. She wants a man who polarizes her. A man who challenges her, inspires her, makes her feel things she can't explain. That's where the real magnetism lives. And here's the twist. She'll never tell you this directly. She'll never say, "I want a man who sometimes pulls away just enough to make me chase." She'll never admit that she loses sleep over the guy who sends mixed signals but carries himself like a king. Why? Because even she doesn't consciously understand it. Attraction isn't something she chooses. It's something she feels. So, what do you do with this knowledge? How do you stop being the nice guy who gets left on red and start becoming the man who leaves a lasting mark? You build mystique. You lead with purpose. You remain calm when she gets emotional. You let her feel your absence as much as your presence. You give her emotional moments, but never at the cost of your self-respect. You don't become her therapist. You become the man who makes her feel without trying to fix her. You let her storm rage, and then you remain unmoved. And over time, that contrast becomes addictive. But there's something else. Something that separates the unforgettable men from the forgettable ones. And it's not about looks, money, or even charm. It's emotional resilience. Most men fold. They crack under pressure. They lash out when they feel insecure. They become needy when a woman pulls away. But the rare man, the stoic man, he doesn't react. He responds. He sees a woman's emotions not as attacks but as tests. Tests of his inner strength. And every time he passes those tests, every time he remains calm, centered and unshakable, her attraction deepens. You've probably heard the phrase, "Women test men," but few understand why. It's not because she's malicious. It's not because she wants to ruin you. It's because, on a subconscious level, she's asking one question: can you handle me? Can you handle her when she's emotional, irrational, insecure? Can you stay calm when she's in chaos? Can you lead when she's lost? If you can, you become irreplaceable. Not because you say the right things, but because you represent something so rare, so powerful, so needed, that she knows she'll never find it again. Emotional mastery is rare in men, and that rarity makes it magnetic. Let me bring this home with a truth you won't hear in most dating advice videos. Women crave leadership. Not the kind of leadership that demands obedience or control, the kind that offers direction, clarity, and consistency. A woman is emotionally fluid by nature. Her emotions rise and fall like tides. But what she longs for is an anchor, a man who doesn't change based on her mood, a man who is constant, predictable not in his actions, but in his essence. So stop trying to impress her. Stop trying to win her over with gifts or grand gestures. Start becoming the man she can feel. The man who triggers something primal in her brain. The part that says, "I don't understand why, but I need to be near him." That's the game most men don't even realize they're playing. They're speaking logic to an emotional being. They're showing resumes to a woman who's scanning for energy. They're playing checkers while she's subconsciously playing chess. But now you know better. And in the next part, we're going to take it even deeper. We'll break down the specific behaviors, the small but powerful patterns that make or break attraction. The micro decisions that seem insignificant but stack up to determine whether she obsesses over you or forgets you entirely. Because this isn't about tricks, it's about transformation. And when you embody this energy, you don't just attract women, you attract loyalty, devotion, desire that doesn't fade. So stay sharp, stay stoic.